It isn't the big troubles in life that require character. Anybody can rise to a crisis and face a crushing tragedy with courage, but to meet the petty hazards of the day with a laugh, I really think that requires spirit. It's the kind of character that I am going to develop. I am going to pretend that all life is just a game which I must play as skillfully and fairly as I can. If I lose, I'm going to shrug my shoulders and laugh, also if I win. I think that the most necessary quality for any person to have is imagination. It makes people able to put themselves in other people's places. It makes them kind and sympathetic and understanding. The world is full of happiness and plenty to go round if you are only willing to take the kind that comes your way. The whole secret is in being pliable. I believe absolutely in my own free will and my own power to accomplish, and that is the belief that moves mountains. Half of the time, I don't know what they're talking about. Their jokes seem to relate to a past that everyone but me has shared. I'm a foreigner in the world, and I don't understand the language. Is it snowing where you are? All the world that I see from my tower is draped in white, and the flakes are coming down as big as popcorns. It's late afternoon. The sun is just setting, a cold yellow color behind some colder violet hills, and I am up in my window seat using the last light to write to you. Oh, I'm developing a beautiful character. It droops a bit under cold and frost, but it does grow fast when the sun shines. Perhaps when two people are exactly in accord, and always happy when together and lonely when apart, they ought not to let anything in the world stand between them. Be careful not to keep your eyes glued to detail. Stand far enough away to get a perspective of the whole. Please be thinking about me. I'm quite lonely and I want to be thought about. The more I study men, the more I'd realize that they are nothing in the world but boys grown too big to be spankable. In spite of being happier than I ever dreamed I could be, I'm also soberer. The fear that something may happen to you rests like a shadow on my heart. Always before I could be frivolous and carefree and unconcerned, because I had nothing precious to lose. It isn't the big pleasures that count the most. It's making a great deal out of the little ones. I'm going to enjoy every second, and I'm going to know I'm enjoying it while I'm enjoying it. Most people don't live, they just race. I have a terrible wander thirst. The very sight of a map makes me want to put on my hat and take an umbrella and start. I shall see before I die the palms and temples of the south. But now, I shall have a great big worry all the rest of my life. Whenever you are away from me, I shall be thinking of all the automobiles that can run over you, or the signboards that can fall on your head, or the dreadful squirmy germs that you may be swallowing. Getting an education is an awfully wearing process. This is your heart. Keep it locked until the chap turns up who has the key. It seems to me that a man who can think straight along for 47 years without changing a single idea ought to be kept in a cabinet as a curiosity. The feeling often comes over me that I am not at all remarkable. It is fun to plan a career, but in all probability, I shan't turn out a bit different from any other ordinary person. I like to pretend that you belong to me, just to play with the idea, but of course I know you don't. I'm alone, really, with my back to the wall fighting the world, and I get sort of gaspy when I think about it. I put it out of my mind and keep on pretending. But don't you see, Daddy? Don't you think it would be interesting if you could read the story of your life, written perfectly truthfully by an omniscient author? In the country, especially, there are such a lot of entertaining things. I can walk over everybody's land and look at everybody's view and dabble in everybody's brook and enjoy it just as much as though I owned the land, and with no taxes to pay.